always have a kinds of contextual relevance. If you look at the second one, the green marked ones, they actually have directly relevance configuration benefits for us. So use numeric values. I always tell my authors that do not tell me how many reasons exist, or do not tell me there are many reasons exist. Just tell me there are 5 main reasons, 6 main reasons, or 7. Just use a numeric value in your sentences. Sometimes numeric values are also not good enough, and you will need to tell me that. For instance, 6 severe symptoms or 9 rare symptoms, because expertise requires using numbers. And in our case studies, in all of them, I always tell authors to just use the numeric values, use the percentages. If I don't see any number in a content, I will just understand that this doesn't reflect any expertise at all. The 5th one, understanding the context of the verbs. If you look at the verb increase, it is actually a verb that signals the health context. Improve actually signals a context for health and skill. Develop signals actually just a skill. If you go to the Google and if you check some of the verbs, you will realize that every verb is connected to a different types of context. According to these contextual zones, actually, the relevance will be changing for them too. So give examples after a plural noun. For instance, do not tell there are 40 different cryptocurrencies in Coinbase. After telling that cryptocurrencies, tell what kinds of cryptocurrencies these are. And it is important to use these type of examples as much as possible as well. And using part of speech tag, if you're able to actually go to the Svalbard, you will realize that for certain types of lists, I am always actually using certain types of verbs or instructions as much as possible. If I ask a question with how to, every list item will always start a kinds of verb. If you check the articles, you will realize what I mean. And optimize a subordinate text, which means that sometimes the search engine processing systems, they don't check entire content. If the subordinate text, which means that the sentence after heading, if it is not responsive enough, they might not check the rest of the article. That's why giving the answer earlier, as much as possible with the correct format, it is really important. Another thing here is that actually putting the if statements or because type of sentences to the second part of the sentences as well. Actually, I have some samples here, but most probably from my USB flash ballak, Matt's opened a different file there. That's why we are not able to see some of them, but later, if you share the original file, you will be able to see them. But basically, do not tell that if A becomes B, do X. Just tell your instruction or your result or the declaration, give the condition after that. The 10th rule that I use actually, match the anchor text with the targeted web page's title. In this case, if you want to use the sleep efficiency in your actual anchor text, be sure that it appears in the targeted web page's title and also the source page's heading as well. If you're able to match them by providing contextual relevance too, it will be providing actually best possible responsiveness as well. The 11th one is do not delay the answer. If I ask you what are the benefits of the vision boards for entrepreneurs, do not define for instance, the vision boards there. Just tell me what is the benefit, how many benefits exist, which one is most important for what kinds of entrepreneur. And in this case, you will need to think a lot, or you can use sometimes to get help from AI systems. Another one is bolding the answer, not the search term. Basically, if I ask what is a penguin, do not bold the penguin, bold actually flightless seabird, because it is the answer section. If you bold the answer format, you will be actually signaling the answer part of your text to the search engines. So the instructions. Be cheaper. This is actually the most important rule that I can ever tell you, because if you are cheaper for the search engine, they will be able to rank you higher as well. This is actually a Google engineer, and this video is from like 11 years ago, and sometimes it's true that actually I am stalking the Google engineers. And in this specific screenshot in this area, the specific engineer tells that, but then you will pay in cost. Here John Miller tells that because it is cheaper, and here the Paul Haar tells that prove the cost is worth it. So cost of ranking a website can't be higher than cost of not ranking the website. If ranking you is really, really costly, if understanding your text is really hard for my systems, I won't bother myself. I will just go to the other website because their content is easier to process and easier to rank as well. So if I ask you a question like, which one is cheaper, website A or website B? The website A has 600 content item, 900 triples, and 59 accuracy, let's say. And website B actually has way much more content, more triples, more accuracy, and more clarity and more topics. For these type of samples, usually people actually tell me that bigger websites should be costlier for ranking, but it is not true always. Because as a search engine, my purpose here is not ranking more websites, because if I'm able to rank a single website to satisfy 20,000 queries, it means that actually it's better for me. Because to satisfy 9 million search queries, I won't rank 9 million different websites. If I'm able to actually satisfy these 9 million queries with a single website, my cost of retrieval will be lowered. And this is actually how the topical authority idea came up. Because if I am able to provide the best possible information in a semantically organized way for the search engines, I will be able to decrease their cost and they will be able to rank me. So it's a kind of agreement with the devil. Having the query responsiveness. So query responsiveness is not about relevance. You don't always have to have the relevance to be able to rank higher. When it comes to the query responsiveness, it is actually about giving the correct information to the search engine as much as possible. In these images here, if you're able to see, I guess it's not reflected because of the light, but there is a kind of actual blind librarian. And when you look at the information retrieval, any traditional SEO methodology that targets the on-page SEO, etc., they actually try to focus on information retrieval. This is actually not the place that I focus on at all. I mainly focus on actually information extraction. Basically, inside the information extraction, we are trying to understand the sentence structures, and we are trying to give the highest possibility responsive answer in the earliest point. To be able to increase your information responsiveness, you will actually need to understand how to generate unique questions. This is actually a gift from my book, Keywords to Questions. It actually explains how the search engines generate questions, and there, I believe if you read 35,000 words, you will learn that. And sample 9 is entity identity creation. This is also about actually the page rank, because this person here that you see, Emma Killer, she was actually an ex-wife, and I can tell that this is a kind of feminist SEO case study, because the ex-husband has a kind of really strong media ownership. So in this case, Mrs. Amak actually told me that I want to be seen as an ex-wife. I am actually a dentist. I am a cosmetic dentist, and actually I have a business. So why this is actually about the page rank? First of all the news sources that tell that this person is an ex-wife, they have high level of traffic, high level of page rank. But the thing here is that the sources that I use, they don't have page rank. They don't have that much popularity. But even if they are not that much rich in terms of, let's say, historical data or even sometimes topical authority, I was able to convince Google that this person is not an ex-wife, actually the person is a dentist and also cosmetic dentist in Istanbul. It's like a kind of having a propaganda war for the search engines, because one side says that ex-wife, 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 other side I am telling that no, not ex-wife, dentist, dentist, dentist. And it is like actually competing against your competitor for telling something more frequently with better sentence structures, and that's why I'm actually mentioning the microsemantics a little bit more here. So understanding the comparative ranking, this is also important, because inside the comparative ranking methodology, even if actually we all use ChatGPT here, even if we all use AI, or even if we all actually get the semantics in a really well way, we all will be creating different types of websites, and at the end of the day, the quality threshold will be increased. And actually this creates a kind of problem, because even if your methods work right now, it will be working until someone else that understands these things in a better way come to your industry as well. So to be able to understand the future generative AI search, I actually have some case study samples there too. This website here, it is about alcoholic drinks. Here you see actually the taxonomy that I have created before. And at the beginning, we were actually taking like 2,000–3,000 clicks. Then we actually went to the 65,000 clicks a day. One day, we woke up and Google actually punished us and everything became actually 0. It was a manual penalty because they can't punish these type of websites algorithmically. It's not possible yet. And then we have started to take actually the traffic back again, but it is around always like 4,000 to 5,000, like as before. The thing here is that I will suggest you to use AI, but if you want to use it, do not use it directly and do not publish like 400, 500 content items a day. Try to increase your frequency and momentum slowly. And at the beginning, start with the human effort. Then you can actually move on to the AI. It will be more healthier to communicate with the search engine. This is actually how it looks like inside the Ahrefs. And this is actually the same structure. I created a web page layout. I created actually a kinds of template and a taxonomy. And it goes up, it comes back.